Welcome back to the Drive Back YouTube channel. Of course, my name is Garrett.
Hey, I'm Adrian.
And today we're doing a spoiler-filled review for No Way Home, the new Spider-Man movie. We haven't done a new release review for a while.
No, and this will be spoiler-filled, not free, filled. We want to be very clear, if you listen to this episode, the entire film will be spoiled for you.
We are talking full spoilers, because it is hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it.
The whole movie is a spoiler.
Exactly. So we will be discussing this movie in detail. If you have not seen it already, both of us are going to tell you to go and see it because it lives up to pretty much every expectation out there.
Yeah, and if you haven't had it spoiled yet, absolutely go see it as soon as possible because it is so good to see without it being spoiled. Even if you think you might have an idea, going to see it fresh, no spoilers, is an incredible feeling, and I cannot recommend it enough. Go see it as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and see it with the biggest crowd possible, too, because
yes,
I know Omicron variant and all that is going to be scary, but you have to see this with a crowd. Like this.
Forget your own health.
Yeah, screw it. You could go to the hospital later. You'll enjoy the movie for at least 2 hours.
I know the pandemic is a little scary, but you have to go see Spider-Man.
That's what all the nurses are saying. That's
what the doctors say. They're showing it in hospitals.
But I don't even think we should even talk spoiler-free thoughts. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. But we are
here it is then.
We're going to be
spoiler warning.
Major spoiler warning for Spider-Man: No Way Home. Do not watch this if you have not seen it yet. But I think we were talking about this. We're going to try and go from least spoilery thing to the heaviest spoilers. If
sure.
possible.
So yeah, I think we'll try. But if you're planning on seeing this movie at all, please stop listening. This viewership does not matter. Come back afterwards to hear our thoughts, but please go see it before you proceed if you have any intentions of doing so.
Absolutely. And that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this spoiler-filled review for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm going to keep saying spoiler-filled because someone out there is not going to get it, and we're going to get a mad comment what the hell, man? So let's just go ahead and get it right out of the gate. Pretty much every rumor and leak about this movie was true.
Yes, except for, this is a small spoiler, Venom not being in the movie.
Well, he is.
Well, but not as much as rumored. It was rumored that he would be a major player and very, very minor. It's more like a post-credit scene. So that was probably the only one, but everything else you've heard, yeah, pretty much true.
Yes, our good friends Toby and Andrew are in the movie. They are in
pretty big spoiler.
Yeah. Well, we were specific that this is a spoiler review. If you haven't jumped ship by now, you clearly need to get your ears checked. But also, my most anticipated cameo of the entire movie, we got Charlie Cox back as Daredevil.
Yeah, really small cameo. I actually thought he was going to be in the movie a little more, and they didn't really play up on the whole lawyer thing much.
Yeah.
But just a cool cameo. Cool to see them bringing in that world. That does unfortunately mean for me I have not seen Daredevil, and now it is clearly canon. So now I definitely need to go and watch Daredevil, which is, I don't know why, I've just been putting it off. Doesn't seem like it's my kind of show.
And I know
we'll
you're
see.
not caught up on Hawkeye, so I also can't say anything else about that either.
Is that involved in this? Does it loop tie in?
Not with Spider-Man.
Okay, that's fair. Then yeah. We're talking about Spider-Man here.
Yeah, we're talking Spider-Man.
But yeah, so I definitely know I need to go watch it because I know it's canon now. So definitely part of the MCU. Which also, just so, for those of you listening that don't know, I've been showing my mom all of the Marvel movies. I've shown my collection here. I have Iron Man through Endgame, or through Spider-Man Far From Home. And that is the series I've been showing mom. I think this movie in particular, No Way Home, has blown the MCU into such a complex storyline that I think this movie, one of the drawbacks of it is that it has become too complex for the average viewer. I don't think a casual viewer of someone that's seen 2 or 3 superhero movies can just dive into this movie. I think it's way too self-referential now. And I think we're definitely off the deep end of the MC multiverse thing going on. The MCM coined it right here.
There we go. Kevin Feige, pay us a couple million.
MCM right there.
So let's go ahead and talk expectations. Let's go ahead and talk, let's go ahead and talk about our favorite moments of the movie.
Yeah.
So Adrian,
I got a
know that
lot. Yeah.
we talked about this last night, kind of a preemptive talk
It
before
was
doing
too
this review.
it was too good not to talk about. Normally Garrett and I try to wait till we're on the podcast to talk. This one was just so monumental we had to chat it up
I
beforehand.
wouldn't say too good. We had to not talk about. I would say it's too special to not talk about. Like that was
Okay.
a special moment. Like this whole movie was special. Don't get me wrong; it's a
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's like it's not, this
I
isn't
see
the
what
next
I get what you're
Oscar
saying.
winner.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like
Oh,
this
it's
is
not going to
so
win any. Yeah.
special. Like that's what I mean.
Um. But so my favorite moment. There's a couple of them. I'll just start with. I'll start with my least favorite moment in the film.
Okay.
So I'll kind of work my way up to my absolute favorite. So one of my favorite moments was obviously when you realize that it is not Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the portal that Ned has created.
Yes.
They kind of tease that it could be Tom Holland, like he's just in an alleyway and he might not have noticed the portal yet. And they do a little back and forth, and then there's a moment in my brain that switched. Because it doesn't like build up to it being special. It just becomes the most special moment in the movie. And like my brain literally went, I never cuss on this podcast, but I went, those sons of bitches did it. Like that's a different Spider-Man. And I haven't been that happy in a film since probably Endgame. Like just pure elated emotion seeing that happen on screen.
Absolutely. I mean, I have been very vocal both in our friend group and on the podcast a couple of times that I didn't think they were going to be in the movie. And in my heart of hearts, I did believe these leaks and rumors, and I was like, okay, maybe they are. But I wanted to go in with that expectation that they weren't.
Sure.
So that if they weren't, after all, I wouldn't have been disappointed. But I'm glad they were.
So glad they were. Awesome.
Definitely. I feel like Andrew's introduction, and maybe I'm off on this. Let me see what you think. I think like Andrew's introduction was better than Toby's.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where they introduced Andrew and they kept it going for a little bit. I would say there was probably like Andrew's introduction was like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they let you get established, but maybe this is just me as well. I was like, okay, maybe they got Andrew, but not Toby. Like Toby's not here, so maybe they only got one. And then for me, the Toby reveal was like, it let me calm down a little bit from seeing Andrew. And then it was like, boom. Like, and then here's the other one that everyone was, I think even you had been on record somewhere saying like, if anyone's in it, it's Andrew. They did not get Toby to come back for this. Like, he hasn't been in any press. He hasn't been photographed.
I said the opposite.
Oh, okay, you said the opposite. Okay.
I knew that Toby was, I knew that Toby was more likely because he's not really doing anything at the moment.
Sure.
Whereas Andrew
but I thought the reveal was great.
Promo stuff.
Yeah, for other movies. But I thought the reveal was really good. I just thought, yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. I think the reveal was all one big reveal of like it is now the multiverse. It happened pretty back to back.
But what I'm getting at though is I feel like when Andrew came in, he was much more his character. I feel like Toby came in and he was just kind of like awkward, like, hey, I just came through the thing. Whereas Andrew was like matter displacement, multiple worlds. Like he was like much more the scientist, which I guess Toby isn't as much.
Yeah,
of a
and I think you also have to remember that Toby's been doing like he's way older. Like he's not the same teenager that Andrew and Tom are. Yeah. Like he even says like it's been 20 years since I fought Venom or whatever. And then he's like he talks about how he and MJ it took a long time, but they finally worked it out in his timeline.
Yeah.
Or in his universe. So I feel like he's just old. Like he's been doing it for a long time. He's probably seen some pretty crazy things, and that maybe that portal didn't really shock him as much as it did for Andrew.
Absolutely, and I think it would have been cool if maybe there was like a little like ring flash that he did or something. But you know,
a ring flash
because I'm sure he's married to.
Oh, for being married. Yeah, that was my least favorite moment. Go ahead.
But I will say that piggybacks into my kind of least favorite moment.
Okay.
Which is the introduction of the two Spider-Men to Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Who like he just comes out of the portal and he's like, no, I don't have time to talk about this. And then they join Tom on the scaffolding. He's just like looking at them both like, what the like what the heck?
You're talking about at the end battle, right? When they're fighting. Yeah.
And he's like, I've been stuck in the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. And then Toby and Andrew are like, You've been at the Grand Canyon. You could have been helping us this whole time.
Yeah, like, clearly you're powerful. You could have been here help. We really could have used you.
That's great. Which
And that lead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was a little disappointed that they took Doctor Strange out of it. Like, it would have been awesome to have him helping in the fight.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, I thought the movie. I mean, the focus was not on him, right? The focus was on the 3 Spider-Men.
Very true. Very true. It's a very minor complaint. Like, it's more like
another really
would have been nice to see.
Sure. And then another thing that I really liked that maybe this is now my new least favorite moment, but when he puts Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, into the spiritual plane, when he knocks him out of his body, and then Spider-Man gets back in.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very underrated moment in the movie, but clearly even Doctor Strange is like, how are you doing that? And that's just, his spidey senses are so strong that he, at least what I'm interpreting, that he's able to, his body knows, I should be holding on to this even though you're not here.
I don't like that moment.
Oh, why?
Because I feel like it's just another, like, for me, and we've talked about this, as far as in the MCU with everything we've seen, Doctor Strange is the most powerful Avenger. Hands down. No one comes close.
In action, on paper, Wanda is.
On paper, Wanda will be. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. We'll have to see her powers in the next movie. But,
yeah.
Like, Doctor Strange can literally lock you in a dimension where you can't affect reality. Nothing beats that. Captain Marvel can't blast her way out. Hulk can't get out. It doesn't matter. But the fact that, like, he shoves Peter out of his body, and then Peter's just able to swim down and get back into his body, felt like a way to nerf Doctor Strange for some reason. And to give Peter a power that doesn't make any sense.
I think it buffed Spider-Man. I don't think it nerfed Doctor Strange. I think it was more like, oh, shoot, like, there's... Like, he has some innate abilities within inside himself that allow him to do things Doctor Strange wasn't expecting.
Yeah, but Hulk's a more powerful Avenger, too, and he wasn't able to do it.
But he didn't try.
Fair. I guess no one really tries. So maybe that's the only way I can justify it? Is that
maybe it's not that maybe it's not that Peter Parker's really good at it. Maybe he's just the only one that's ever tried.
That's the only way I can justify it. Yeah. But it just kind of felt weird. I mean, it was great that Doctor Strange was like, how are you doing that? Like, that shouldn't be possible.
I also, another moment really quick that I noticed just as more of a clarification, and this is my understanding of the film. So I actually heard, we went and saw it with my good friend Joey, and he said, like, right, the whole idea was everyone that knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker was brought into this universe, or was coming to this reality.
Starting to before Doctor Strange.
Correct. But so he had a lot of heartburn with Venom showing up. Because Venom did not know the identity of Peter Parker prior to coming to this reality.
You're talking about me?
What?
Because I had talked about that last night when we were talking.
Maybe it was you then. So I have a correction for you. I thought it might have been Joey, but it was you then. Okay. So I have a correction then. Because I just watched Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And what brings Venom to this reality is Venom showing Tom Hardy some of his true power of his hive mind of the collective universe.
Yes, he says, let me show you just a small fraction of the...
But so he's here when Spider-Man's identity is revealed, not when the spell is cast.
He's there at the precise moment that the identity is revealed, yeah.
And then the spell is cast weeks later that brings all the people that know Spider-Man's identity.
Well, then that creates a plot hole then.
It does, because at the end he gets sent back with everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah, unless it was like a rerun of the news thing, or like, Jay Jonah keeps talking about it like over and over again. But
at least I just watched it, and he showed up before the spell was cast.
There's still the plot hole that Venom doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
But that's not why he showed up.
I know, but like even if you're trying to justify it, and that's the reason why that all these people were coming, that doesn't make sense that he came.
No, I'm not I'm saying that's not why he came.
I'm not talking about you at this. I'm just saying in general. Like, it doesn't.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The statement for is that that's not the case. He showed up because of a cross-universe plane thing that Venom did prior to the spell even being
Venom
cast.
didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Venom didn't know what was going on.
No, but he did it when he showed... It happened accidentally.
That's just the same timing, two different things. Venom had nothing to do with that.
No, so the spell was cast 2 weeks later from when Venom showed up in this reality.
Okay, so that I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's correct because Venom he doesn't know what's going on. If he was transporting Eddie, or something he was doing was transporting Eddie, he wouldn't have been like, "What's going on? I don't know where we are. What's going on?" Like he's just as confused as Eddie is.
Okay, then the plot hole has to come from either they showed the wrong TV footage because they showed the footage that was released live. It says live on it. When in London, at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, it shows that exact same footage on TV from the Daily Bugle.
I think it's just a continuity mistake.
So it's either a continuity mistake or if he did come early, then the end of the movie doesn't make any sense because he's sent home with everybody else.
Yeah.
So there's something there, but it's definitely interesting and seems like they wanted to tie him in for fun.
That does lead to one of my biggest criticisms for the movie, which is that Venom was brought into the MCU for 2 end credit sequences, and they were only as a joke.
Yeah.
Which really pissed me off.
Well, not only as a joke, we've talked about this as well, that Venom, the symbiote, is now in the MCM.
Yeah.
So there was a plot drive there, right? There was a vehicle.
Venom and Eddie Brock are still in the MCM, because we now know that Venom is canon with No Way Home and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Whereas now the symbiote is in Earth 616. It is on the Prime.
Correct. The Prime Earth, yeah.
Which is cool because we'll get to see Venom in the MCU, but it won't be Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. It'll probably be Flash Thompson or Agent Venom or something. I don't know.
Or another some other
Black
version.
Suit Spider-Man at some point.
Yeah.
Which
cool.
There'll be a retreading of that story though, because they already did that in Spider-Man 3.
And I think they're definitely trying to avoid all of that. Like I think they're definitely being like, okay, we're done with that. Yeah. And that's actually to my next point. I think this movie did a fantastic job of making all Spider-Mans and all Venoms and everything canon and saying, yes, okay, it's all real, it's all part of it. We did the multiverse thing. And then we sent them home. Like we showed you what you wanted to see. It's all canon, just like you wanted. Now we're going to move forward with our franchise. I thought it was a great way to tie a bow on it and be like, it's what Star Wars should have done. They should have moved on. They should have had a movie that paid homage and then moved on. I think this movie did it excellently.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really a giant throwback to movies of the past, Spider-Man lore, but also looking ahead to the future in a way that's kind of dark and depressing, but at the same time is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
So, the idea now that no one knows who Peter Parker is, like, he's completely forgotten by his friends and family, is just...
Looks like new city, new life, new neighborhood.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll still be an Avenger.
Well, he has to earn his way back. Well, actually...
No, because Spider-Man is
Spider-Man... Yeah, so Spider-Man is... his identity just hasn't been revealed yet.
Exactly.
It's interesting. So, yeah, he'll still fight along. He'll still get the call. They just won't know to call him Peter.
Yeah, when they won't know who Peter is underneath. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you have any? I know we were talking last night, and I know you were still kind of in the mindset that, this was like super awesome. Have you developed any criticisms? Do you think there's anything that you would critique about the movie?
Yeah, I think there's definitely criticisms. There's plot holes, and there's some weird, convenient things like Ned being able to use the sling ring, and I get that he has family powers and all that stuff, but I will still say that this is an absolute A-game movie from Marvel. This is the cinema experience that I expected when I pay for a Marvel movie. Yes. This is what I wanted. It delivered. I was screaming. I was cheering. My whole theater was erupting. I haven't changed my opinion on the movie overall. I had already accepted that there's flaws in it. But I just think the moments that it delivers are so powerful. Yeah. Like the moment with all 3 Spider-Mans just chatting, waiting for the villains.
Honestly, some of the best dialogue in the MCU.
Yeah, finally they can all relate to someone else, and they talk so casually. Like I love when Andrew looks at Toby and goes like, "Oh, I also have a middle back thing." Like, let me stretch you out here real quick.
Yeah.
And they just do a quick little stretch. Yeah, just absolutely incredible.
I just wish there had been a moment where, like, you know, I wish they had spent more time talking about what they had done. Like, cut some of that stuff out in the beginning, because that's my biggest critique, is that the beginning is way too rushed. It's edited pretty poorly, and it's just, it's like they wanted to tell this big multiversal story and have the other Spider-Man and all these villains, but then they're like, oh, wait, sorry, we have to connect it to Far From Home. So they put in this, 30 minutes at the beginning, which was kind of rough, in my opinion.
I didn't feel that way, but I can see, I definitely can appreciate the opinion for sure.
Which I could have left some great time for them to discuss, be like talk about like their histories, like, yeah, this is what I went through, this is what I went through, and then Tom Holland can be like, yeah, half the universe died, and I helped to bring them back, and they literally could have been like, what? Like,
yeah,
because in like Venom, sorry to go back to Venom here, but like he's talking to the waiter, and he hears about Thanos, meaning that Thanos has to exist in other realities. So now Venom is having to go back to his universe, knowing that Thanos could be a thing. Toby and Andrew could be going back to their universe, thinking that Thanos could be a thing. Like, that is incredible. Like, the potential for that is really kind of, like, we will never get a movie or anything about that, but, like...
Well, I mean, I still hold that Thanos is one of the best villains ever written and put to screen, in the way that it was done, especially the fact that he won
very good,
in one movie. But hey, maybe they bring back the prime version of Thanos. Maybe we didn't fight the peak Thanos. Yeah, maybe there's like Ultimate Thanos, and maybe they do that.
Well, apparently there could be lead-ups to the main villain for the MCU in the future being Thanos' father, who is way worse.
Yeah.
So
or Death herself.
That'd be fun if they did that with Deadpool.
Yeah, that would be fun. He has to actually go fight Death. But he'd have to lose. Death is very, very powerful. Deadpool could not defeat Death.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the last... That'd be the last Deadpool movie. Yeah, that would be the last Deadpool movie.
Oh, yeah.
But another scene I liked is where they kind of played fun at the meme of all the Spider-Men pointing at each other. When he's like, hey, Peter, and they all go, you? Oh, no, you? Oh, you? Is he talking to you? And they just all point at each other back and forth. That was really great. Really, really good writing.
I need to point out a missed opportunity.
Okay.
But I don't want to dwell on these because, I mean, whatever. But there's a point in this movie when they're doing the final battle that, Sandman could have thrown a block of sand at Tobey Maguire, and he could have, as he was throwing it back at someone else, could have been like, I'm going to get some dirt in your eye. The whole on Bully Maguire meme. That would have been so nice. But of course, they're not going to put that in. It's too forced. But
I really liked too when they were talking about how Tobey Maguire can shoot web out of his hand or out of his wrist, and then he's like, the two with mechanical web shooters were like, yeah, we get web blocks all the time. Like, I have to go get more web, and then Toby goes, I've also had web blocks, but it's more of like an existential crisis kind of thing. And it's talking about the third movie where he goes on like a full mental break with Venom.
Wait, no. This is the second movie when he loses his powers.
I wasn't talking about when he loses his powers. I was thinking about when he totally had Venom and couldn't, and he had like a whole couple weeks where he had to adapt to being Black Suit Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he still had his webs and stuff.
I guess. Maybe I was mistaken, yeah. So I guess second movie. He
lost his powers, yeah.
Yeah. But then I love that Andrew immediately goes like, oh, I get that.
Yeah.
They just all have the same lives. That was super good. And then my favorite moment, I know, and then we could talk about all the other moments as well, but my favorite moment, which I think is also one of yours, is when Andrew gets to save MJ.
Yes.
Literally a perfect moment for that character. And a perfect moment in the movie. What did you think of it?
Fantastic. I know I was welling up when Andrew was.
Yeah.
I think my entire theater cheered. Which was awesome. I don't think it's my favorite moment, but it's high up there. I have my favorite moment.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it last night. My favorite moment is when Toby stops Tom from stabbing Green Goblin with the glider.
Yeah. Huge moment.
He told me, he's like, I was filled with rage at one point. Andrew told him he was filled with rage like that at one point, and he still was kind of. But like that was huge. because Toby was there to see Green Goblin get killed the first time.
And I love that Toby doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of look at each other, both holding this thing, and it's like it's just like a conversation of emotions.
Yes.
Like, hey man, like you don't need to do this. Like, come on, like you're fine. Yeah, incredible scene.
Yes, absolutely incredible. And then one more for the road, when they all three hug at the end. It just warmed the heart.
Yeah.
Like, yes, okay.
And then, I mean, kind of in the same moment, my favorite moment is right before yours, I guess, is when we actually get to see Spider-Man fist to fist fight somebody. And actually see how hard those punches are and how he can use webs to be in like a jiu-jitsu fight. That whole physical fight with Green Goblin was incredible. I loved the scene where it's just Spider-Man's face and he's just wailing at the camera. Like, you could tell those punches are like trucks because he's so mad.
But
and it was just incredible. Yeah, and they're just...
in him or whatever.
Well, and then he's just laughing, though. Yeah. Like, he's just... Whoa.
Getting some power.
Did you see that?
Over there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Electro's coming for you.
Jamie!
Jamie has entered the chat.
But no, just I mean, definitely, I mean, you said it won't win, like, Best Picture or anything, but I could see the world where Tom Holland gets Best Performance.
It's a very good performance. It's his best performance as Spider-Man, but I don't think it's not.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought the final moment we'll see. But yeah. Very, very cool. Great movie.
Today, what are your kind of your final thoughts before we is Electro just burning your house?
I think I'm going to die soon. There's a crazy electrical surge going on.
If the lights flash and there's a girl behind you with wet black hair, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I've seen this."
You have to let me know immediately. But I think this movie's incredible. It's Marvel at its peak again. It is absolutely an incredible film. It is probably top... Oof, that's tough. But maybe, like... It's definitely in the top 10 out of all, like, 30 Marvel movies now. Probably top 5 or 6 for me. Just what they were able to achieve. They actually pulled off bringing all the Spider-Mans together. They tied it in. They had all the villains. It was like an end game for Spider-Man. Just an absolutely incredible film. Extremely well written. Extremely great concept. And really, really fun to watch. And if you made it this far and you still haven't seen it, sorry, that was a dumb choice. But go see it. It is a really, really good movie.
And what is your score for Spider-Man No Way Home?
My score is 94.
94. All right.
Yeah, I really, really like this movie. Thought a lot about it, too.
As far as my final thought, this is the same thing that's on my blog. I posted my spoiler-free review on there if you want to go check it out. I should have said that in the beginning, probably. But there is a spoiler-free review I have. But I said that No Way Home is a fantastic bit of multiversal fun and provides a darker and more emotional Spider-Man that we have received in quite a long time. Even if the film starts a bit uneven. But that being said, as far as the score, I gave Spider-Man No Way Home an 86.
Perfect.
The score has changed a little bit since yesterday. I think it went up.
I don't remember what you said yesterday.
I think I said 84 yesterday, but
okay.
It's gone up, 86.
Yeah.
That's what brings us to an end of this video review. This will probably be going up on this Sunday, so probably tomorrow for us, so that we can try and get our opinion out there before the weekend is over. But we are going to go ahead and get that out. Also, you should be seeing our next episode of the Drive Back Podcast, which is our holiday special, coming out on tomorrow, which will be the 20th. If this is coming out on Sunday, which it should.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully I wake up and actually edit this on time. But make sure you watch out for that. And then just through the end of the year, we're going to be talking about our favorite things of 2021, our most anticipated movies of 2022. And in the second week of January, we're doing the Drive Back Awards. We're awarding film. I think we know what Adrian's going to give Best Picture.
We'll see.
Like, this might be it. So,
might be.
Might not. Who knows? You're going to have to watch and find out.
Those are, in fact, the two options, Garrett. It might be, and it might not.
I'm just covering my bases, But Adrian, if anyone here is new and doesn't know where to follow us for updates, where can they do so?
The Drive Back Podcast. All the links are in the description below if you want to follow us on anything, or if you want to jump over to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you follow on, and whatever you listen on, just go ahead and follow us over there. But all links down below. We love to talk to you guys on Instagram. We post every time we have a new update. And then here on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. We post exclusive content like this that you can't find on the podcasting apps. This is not a podcast episode. This is a YouTube exclusive video because we like to be able to see each other and see you guys, and you guys see us as we talk about our favorite new movies and a more short form review or like spoiler filled stuff. So make sure to subscribe here for more views or more videos like this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. I was going to say thank you so much for listening, but this isn't a podcast. So thank you so much for watching. We love you guys so much. We'll see you next time here on The Drive Back.